Hi everyone, my name is Gray. I'm the dietitian and health coach with MLK Health Center and Pharmacy. March is National Nutrition Month. We've done a few videos for National Nutrition Month, and if you've watched some of those, we've talked about processed food, ancestral diets, some of the misconceptions about dietitians or nutritionists. But there's certainly a common theme that I've brought up, and that's that there is no one-size-fits-all diet. There is no perfect eating plan that is going to fix everybody's problems, which I think some people find a little frustrating. But really what I try to do with my patients and clients is give them a framework, kind of some guidelines, some boundaries, or a perimeter if you want. But within those boundaries, there's a lot of wiggle room. There's a lot of play to create their own version of a healthy diet, because healthy eating can look 1,000 different ways to 1,000 different people. So for this video, I want to talk about what some of those frameworks or guidelines are. So the first thing is reducing added sugar. So this is not the sugar that's coming from fruit or some of those naturally occurring sugars that nature gives us. This is the stuff that's added to food. So big examples of that, or some of the big offenders, are going to be things like sodas, sweet tea, any of those sweet drinks, your candies, cakes, cookies, desserts, those sorts of things. Unfortunately, there are a lot of other foods that have hidden sugars. They're not going to be as potent of sources, but over the course of a day, some of that stuff can really add up. So checking the ingredient list is a good way to see if there are added sugars in that food, and just reducing it whenever you can. The second framework to kind of guide you in your healthy eating is reducing processed foods. This goes hand in hand with reducing sugar. A lot of those things fall into the same category. We talked about this in a different video, but looking at the ingredient list, if you see a long, complicated ingredient list with a bunch of stuff you don't recognize, that's a highly processed food and you don't want to eat a lot of it. So that's going to be something else you can do to improve your health and eat a little healthier. The third framework is to reduce your fried food and junky oils. This is something that there's a lot of misconception around fat. The US was in the grips of a fat phobia for many decades, and during that time we had a lot of kind of crappy substitutes come on the market, heart-healthy versions of fats. Those ended up being worse for us than we realized. So a lot of these vegetable oils, seed oils, and the fried foods are going to be the big offenders. The trans fats is another as well. So trying to reduce those when we can. The fourth framework is eating more plant foods, more things that grew from the ground that way, things that nature gave us. So this goes along with the processed foods, but just simple ingredients, single item ingredient list, your fruits, your vegetables, whole grains, meat, some dairy, keeping it basic. Some other things to keep in mind are oftentimes it goes beyond the food. I don't always tell my patients to start with nutrition changes. Sometimes I tell them that they really need to be getting more sleep or managing their stress or trying to get in more exercise. If we're super stressed out, if we're not sleeping well, we're sitting around all day, it's going to make it more challenging to make a healthy food choice. So I would rather trace that back to the root. If it's not getting enough sleep, let's say, then let's start there. Let's make sure you're getting enough sleep, and then that's going to make it easier to make those food choices during the day. So those are some of the frameworks that I give to people, using those as boundaries to create your own healthy eating plan that works for you. I hope this was helpful. If you have more interest in nutrition and wellness videos, please check out our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.